How bad will the USA weather be this winter? Do you have flannel? What about hot chocolate? Or snowshoes? It's time to restock, because there will be plenty of snow, rain, and mush this winter, as well as some record-breaking freezing temps. We are advising viewers to shake, tremble, and shovel. The first frost should arrive earlier this year than last. December 2022 looks stormy and cold over the country, with an active storm pattern emerging and remaining over the eastern half of the country for most of the season. So let's dive into today's video, as we'll be discussing how bad will the USA weather be this winter. But before we begin, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hurricane season will be followed by severe weather in the southeast. Most of the southeastern United States is in for a mild winter, but it's not the air temperature that meteorologists are keeping an eye on. Instead, meteorologists are focused on the water temperature in the Gulf of Mexico and along the Atlantic coast. Warm waters off the shores of the southeast will boost frequent storms and downpours over the region as autumn fades into winter, in addition to driving a busy final stretch of the Atlantic hurricane season, which technically lasts until November 30th. Severe weather lessens across the United States during the winter months, although it may still be disastrous in the southeast at this time of year. Last December, a disastrous severe weather event unleashed tornadoes in 9 states, killing 76 people and causing $18 billion in damage just before the holiday season began. On Christmas Day 2012, a tornado outbreak throughout Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama churned up 34 twisters and 84 destructive wind reports, cutting electricity to households as they tried to spend the holiday with their friends and families. This season may also see the emergence of hazards of a different, more usually winter sort. Last year, the region experienced many snow occurrences that buried some southern cities. Last winter, Huntsville, Alabama received 5.2 inches of snow, more than double the yearly normal of 2.4 inches. The biggest chance for snow or wintry precipitation in the inland southeast will be in January and early February, with 1 or 2 snowfall events possible. This is less than the 4 occasions when snow accumulated across the region last winter. If you're enjoying the video so far, hit the like button, comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, because if you don't, we hope you catch a cold this upcoming winter. So to avoid that, you'd better subscribe. Will snow shovels collect dust in the Northeast and Midwest? A blast of cold air raced across the Northeast and Midwest just in time for the start of astronomical fall on September 22nd. But the start of astronomical winter on December 21st may not be as predictable. Residents in the Northeast and Midwest will get a taste of winter in November and December when waves of cold air descend from Canada. But the largest blasts of cold air will not arrive until later in the season. The clash of cold air with residual warmth might cause an out-of-season severe weather event in the Midwest or Ohio Valley in late November or early December. These climatic ingredients will also be present to produce some early season snow. But this will not be an indicator of how the full winter will unfold, but rather the beginning of a bookend winter in terms of snowfall. Snowfall is expected to be below average across most of the central Appalachians, Ohio Valley, and interior mid-Atlantic, but precipitation may wind up over average, with a few all-rain events possible during the winter. The eastern Great Lakes, including Buffalo, New York, Erie, Pennsylvania, and Cleveland, will get less lake effect snow. Further west, lake effect snow will be near to above normal. A polar vortex may cause a late-season Arctic surge in the central United States. Temperatures are expected to be around 3 degrees Fahrenheit above normal in parts of the country's heartland, including locations near Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, during the final month of 2022. The warmth will spread south across the border to areas like Lubbock and Amarillo, Texas, as well as north and west to places like Dodge City, Denver, and Wichita, Kansas. The mild start to winter is not always predictive of what is expected to happen in the region after the calendar turns to 2023. The polar vortex, a massive pocket of cold air that generally exists near the Arctic Circle, will be a major role in the central United States this winter. The polar vortex over the North Pole is occasionally shifted and can drop southward across a huge expanse of the United States, unleashing the coldest air of the winter across dozens of states. February is the month to keep an eye out for the polar vortex, which will bring brutally cold Arctic air through the Rockies and most of the central United States, causing energy demand to skyrocket. The new storm track for the second half of the winter will focus on the eastern plains and the mid-Mississippi Valley, but heavy snow and even blizzard conditions are possible on the storm's northern and western flanks. As disruptive as the storms are to travel and the daily lives of millions of people across the region, any precipitation, liquid or frozen, will be welcomed across the Central Plains. West Coast storms may have minimal impact on long-term drought. The triple-dipping this year's La Niña is only the second in modern history, joining the winter of 2000 to 2001 as the only seasons where the climate phenomenon remained for so long, despite the fact that the weather pattern is shaping up similarly to the previous 2 years. Storms in October and November brought early season rain and snow to most of California, Oregon, and Nevada, kicking off the winter season on a stormy note. The storm track drifted northward when the calendar turned to December, directing rain and mountain snow toward Washington and British Columbia, Canada. Long-range forecasts believe a recurrence of last winter's early season storms is improbable. As of Tuesday, September 20th, 74% of the western United States was experiencing moderate drought, 18% was experiencing extreme drought, and there were pockets of exceptional drought, the most severe of drought categories, in California's San Joaquin Valley, central Oregon, and central Utah. Drought conditions in some parts of the West may worsen as the winter is expected to start dry. So this was all about the winters in the US this year. I hope you enjoyed our video. If yes, then hit the like button, and I hope by now you've subscribed already, as no one wants to catch a cold and be sick instead of enjoying the weather. Until then, we'll see you in the next one.